Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Brian from Whisper Status 74, and today I want to talk about SquareTrade, which is the warranty insurance company that is working with Costco. We've been talking lately about the TCLs, the Hisense, and the Vizio P Series, Quantum XP Series that is going to be available at Costco, and Costco being a choice for many of you due to its amazing warranty. In comparison to something like Best Buy's Geek Squad. Now, Best Buy's Geek Squad is very expensive. It goes up depending on how much you spend for the display. The Quantum, I would say the Samsung 900R at $7,000 or $8,000. The Geek Squad percentage of that would be about $800 or $900. That's not set in stone, but that is a close percentage. Now, I know Geek Squad does have a really no questions asked way of doing things. At least that's what I've heard. I'm not sure about that. Share your Geek Squad stories in the comments, please. But what I'm really looking for today is those of you in the comments who have talked about dealing with SquareTrade from Costco. I want to know what your experiences have been in as much detail as you can possibly give me. I know it'll be redundant from many of you, as I've just talked to a lot of you guys about dealing with this. And from what I understand, a lot of your experiences with Costco have been very, very good. But I want as much feedback as I possibly can get from actual users and what they deal with. Now, quickly, SquareTrade. We're going to go through the book. We're going to do a little bedtime story. And we're going to show it to you here. Okay, so quickly, what does SquareTrade cover? It covers remote failure, screen failure, power supply burnout, speaker sound failure, won't turn on, and broken buttons. Now that's pretty vague, actually. Now what I mean by vague is a lot of the issues that we know happen with these displays aren't exactly mechanical in terms of them just stop working. The panel lottery is very seldomly about your display not powering on. I wish that it was that cut and dry. So if I look at screen failure on the fine print over here, screen failure includes dead pixels, discoloration, lines in screen, or dim screens. Plan does not include physical damage, intentional damage, accidental damage, loss or theft, not intended for commercial use. Okay, so they're not going to fix it if the screen cracks due to, you moving it or breaking it. So that isn't a huge issue either. They actually probably would work with you a little bit, but keep in mind physical damage. You move, you drop it. That's not what this covers. Now, if I'm wrong, please in the comments tell me. I'm just reading it off the book. Tell me if you've had physical damage or something has happened and they've replaced it. I know Geek Squad will replace physical damage, but what they're really trying to protect themselves against is you basically taking a hammer, smacking your screen, and saying, I need a new one. They also will say, let's see, 5 years protection, on-site service, fast replacements, that's covered, 100% parts and labor, no deductibles or hidden fees, okay? Now, they would say that if your TV can be repaired, we may send an in-home repair technician to fix it. If your TV cannot be repaired, we may replace it with a comparable or better model, which we know we have to be careful with that, with similar features and functionality, or refund the replacement cost up to the current amount, or up to the coverage amount. $34.99 televisions under $500, $64.99 televisions between $500 and $1,000, and $100 televisions above $1,000. So, where the gray area is, guys, for this is the panel lottery, as we talk about, would really fall under. Oh, the computer one is different. Computer one does cover a cracked screen. Anyway, the TV screen failure is where a lot of us are going to focus. Dead pixels is a huge one. That's one I think you should look at immediately. Now, when you first buy these TVs, and I'll do a video on this, my advice to you is to put it where it's going to go. I wouldn't hang a TV until you know you're going to keep it, and then test it extensively. Find out what the refund, the no-fault refund policy is. Is it, like, so Best Buy, I think it's 15 days. If you have a card through Best Buy, like Elite Status, it's 45 days. I would suggest taking some time and use those days as well as you possibly can. Test those displays to every content imaginable. Games, movies. And when I do a video on this, I'm going to link down some gray uniformity screens, some dead pixel slides off YouTube, and really study that display for as many days as you possibly can. Make sure that you absolutely love it. Because once you get into manufacturers, even with companies like this, it's not going to be a no-fault situation. If you have a technician coming out and you're showing him or her vertical banding that is faint, that might be a no call. That might be something where they're going to say, I don't know, man, that looks fine to me. That's where this gets very, very dicey. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is in your first 15 days or whatever the initial return policy is, I want you to study that display. Check it for all the things that you don't love. And if you don't like it, send it back. The problem with a lot of these companies, I know Best Buy does not love this. Sending it back because you don't like it is not allowed. Actually, it's not true. You can send it back. You will be hit with a restocking fee of about $500. Amazon does this as well, even if you're a Prime member. You say, hey, you know what? It's not what I thought it was. I don't like it. It's not as big as I thought it was. I want a larger size. They'll say, fine, no problem. That'll be $500, $600 restocking fee. I've been through this myself. So not liking it isn't really an option. I can't bring back my oven or my refrigerator because I don't like them. So defects are another matter. Flash lighting, edge lit bleed, dead pixels, vertical banding, dirty screen effect. These are things you want to study. These are things that you want to put your display through the paces. Video games, movies, streaming. My advice to you is that before it even comes out of the box, take the top of the box off, hook into your Wi-Fi while it's half in the box, and start running some tests right there. Don't even take it out of the box. Get those first few tests. I did that with my 900E. That one's actually on the channel as well. But do comprehensive tests at home. What I want to know for you guys is, what's your experience here? I like the warranty. I think it's very good. Remote failure is what it sounds like. Your remote doesn't work. To me, all they're going to do is replace the remote. Power supply burnout, that's also vague. That means that the thing just basically dies. Speaker sound failure, won't turn on. Broken buttons. Now that one for me, broken buttons will go into some of your concerns about HDMI inputs on the Vizios not working or dying out. That's something that I would definitely put under broken buttons, failed inputs. Then you might have a technician come out. But I want to know what your experience here is, and if this is something you would recommend. A lot of you guys in the comments have said Costco has been no questions asked. 2 years, come get it. We're all done, ready to rock. Give me a new one. I'm not going to say I don't believe you. I'm just going to say I'd love to hear your comments about it. Share what happened with your display. If you had a Vizio M series, they replaced it with another M series. What was your defect? Was your defect dead pixels? Now, I don't recommend being dishonest. I don't recommend saying, oh, you know what? I don't like this thing anymore. Send it back. To me, it's the same as stealing. I would not recommend doing that. But what are you seeing as system failure? And what has Costco covered for you? And how was it to deal with this other, the company's called SquareTrade? How was it dealing with them? Now, if you have stories about your computers and things of that nature, share that in the comments as well. But I want to know your experience so we can pass that along. I have not dealt with the warranties before. I will tell you that dealing with the manufacturer directly is an absolute nightmare of any of these companies. So right off the bat, it says here, 5 years total protection. So year 1 and 2 covered by manufacturer or Costco concierge for 2 years, meaning that the manufacturer and or Costco will cover the first 2 years. Then after that, you're covered by SquareTrade for additional 3 years. If you get their credit card, it's an additional 2 years on top of that for a total of 7 years. I want to know from you guys, is that too good to be true? What's been your experience? A lot of you guys have had really good experiences. Please share those. For those of you that are new to the channel, I want you to go in those comments and read them and see what their experiences have been. And from actual users, put the details. What happened with your display? What year was it? Which one was it? Was it a TCL, a Samsung, a Sony, Hisense, whatever you went through? Let me know how they handled it. How was it? Was it cumbersome to call them? Was it a problem? A lot of times, the difference between this company is you're paying for it up front, where like with your phone, for instance, having insurance for your phone, Some of you were like, well, I can't believe that I pay for the insurance and then I have to pay an additional $200 and then get a refurbished phone. That's not this. This is saying a brand new display of like or better. And I know you can argue that. So we talked about this on the channel on Best Buy, where somebody tried to tell Scott, if you're watching, that his Q8FN was being replaced by a Q70R. That's the next best one. It isn't. He had it worked out. But don't let them tell you what, you know your stuff. So let me know what you think. Is it worth it? Does it work well? I'm thinking about buying a Quantum P Series X this year. One of the biggest reasons is being protected, is why I'm considering it. Because we know that the panel lottery is real and these things do break down. I want to know how well I'm covered. Now, what I mean about double checking, we're going to go back before the video is over. What I mean about gray slides, 5%, 10%, 20%, you can find those on YouTube. Again, I'll do a video on that and I'll link them, is testing these things as well as you possibly can. I mean, hook everything you can up to it. I suggest before it gets to its permanent home. What I mean by that is don't hang it yet. Now, what I mean by not hanging it is I'm not saying hanging it is going to damage your TV. I'm just saying don't spend the time lining it up, leveling it, doing all that until you're sure you're going to keep it. Hook it up to your Wi-Fi, run it through all its paces, everything that you watch, sports, your cable TV, and then get into those video games that we know the panning causes banning. I want you to look for the dirty screen effect, because I think those things aren't going to be covered here. I don't think vertical banding, unless they are heavy lines, and I mean heavy lines, that they're lightning down the screen, that's going to be covered. I don't think gray vertical banding or dirty screen effect is going to fall under here. So what I mean by that is before this kicks in, it's going to be on you to test your own display. Now, a lot of you guys, when you get TVs, you're busy. You order them, you get them home, you don't look at them for a while. I know it sounds ridiculous, but a lot of you guys do that. Put some time aside. I want you to study that thing. I want you to put it through its paces. Work it hard for the first few weeks. See what it shows you. I don't want you sitting back after a couple weeks going, oh my God, I didn't realize there's a huge vertical band. Now, for those of you who don't know what vertical banding is, it is not solid. They're transparent. They're just there. You might not see them on all content. What I want you to do is search it out. Now, ignorance is bliss. If you don't want to see it and you don't care, then disregard the entire video. Don't look for it. Just watch your TV, enjoy it. This channel is typically those of us that are very picky. We're very particular. But my point for the whole video is some of the things that bother us, guys, are not going to be covered in here. Vertical banding is not a screen issue. It's not going to fall under screen failure. So as I was reading that fine print, screen failure to me, if I'm a technician, now keep in mind, guys, these technicians are just regular guys, regular girls. They're going to sit here, they're going to talk to their boss, they're going to look at it, as I've had them in here with Samsung, they're going to say screen failure. No, it powers on. Is it a blue line down the screen? No blue line down the screen. It's he's saying it's some faint line. I can't really see it. That's how it's going to go. And they're going to say, yeah, I'm sorry, sir, I can't pass that. Then you're dealing with a whole nother animal. So the vertical banding, the dirty screen effect, that's going to be on you initially. Dead pixels, it sounds like that's in here. They'll just send it out. Don't go crazy. But the banding is where a lot of us have had issues. Now, color gradation issues that we talked about with the original Quantum P series, because we're going to talk about the Quantum in this video as an example, that's a flaw inherent to the display technology. A lot of you guys aren't even going to notice that. You can check that yourself with different forms of HDR, your movies, screen, skyboxes and films. Then you can say to yourself, you know what, I really don't love that. Then it's on you in those first couple weeks to say, look, I don't really like the display. It's got issues. That's where I would bend the truth a little bit. Don't just say you don't like it. Just say it's not for me. It's got some screen problems. I'd like my money back. And see how that goes. Also, tell me in the comments if that's worked for you. I know it doesn't fly with a lot of other companies, but I believe for the first few weeks, that is a no questions asked. You can return it. It's just not for me. But do your research in that. Look into these comments. See what they say in these comments. This stuff is super important, guys. Super important because once you're past that initial window, you are on your own. So on your own. This is to protect you that little bit. I want to know from you guys how much this protects you. before I tell people, yeah, go to Costco or BJ's or buy these extended warranties. I mean, it's $100. It's not going to kill you. But I want to know if this is comparable to Geek Squad. Because if it's not, then Geek Squad is worth the extra money. The problem with spending an additional $800 is a lot of you guys, including myself, we budget right to that sales tax. I want to know if this is comprehensive, if this is helpful, what your experiences have been. Be as honest with me as you possibly can. And again, make that detailed. I don't care if the comment is huge. Just be detailed for me. Let me know what the display was, what the issue was, what happened to it. If it was screen damage. Now, I think they're saying here with computers, because they're looking at laptops, they are covering spills on the keyboard. Those are more common, not common to TVs. So if you have had issues, your screen is broken, being moved, did they cover it? You know, tell me what your experiences are. I want to be able to recommend these kinds of warranties. I think they're amazing for what we, you know, it makes it a no risk to try out some of these displays to see if you like them and see if they function properly. We're talking about build quality. We're talking about these displays maybe not being as consistent. To me, they're all that way. Cover yourself. Let me know what you think with SquareTrade from Costco, what your experience is. And also, if you have something like this at Sam's Club, Walmart, BJ's, any of those, or if you're in another country, let me know if these warranties do work. I want to hear from you guys. Please let me know. For me right now, my 2 cents on it is I think it's worth it. I think for the, you know, discoloration is separate from lines on screen. I'll be able to explain to them that is discoloration. If the banding is that bad, I would clarify that or classify that banding as discoloration. I'll be able to sell that. I'm going to sell it, no matter how many people they have to send out here. But let me know what you think. Again, guys, that doesn't fall into faint lines down the screen, things like that. What is your experience? Let me know so we can use this video as a way to learn about these warranties and if they're worth it. Again, this is Costco, SquareTrade. It is $100 for anything over $1,000. It is $64 for anything between $500 and $1,000, and $34.99 if it's under $500. Even that, I think, is worth it. Again, remote failure, screen failure, power supply burnout, speaker sound failure, won't power on, and broken buttons. That covers quite a bit, but the things that we take very seriously here and the things that bother us the most aren't any of those. They tend to be screen uniformity issues that make us crazy, especially with these displays being ultra bright. Now keep in mind, again, with a display like the Quantum XP series at 2,000 nits, 3,000 nits, banding and things of that nature are going to be more evident. You're going to see them more. So get them, test the hell out of them. Some of you guys have already pre-ordered the Quantum P Series X. I will not be pre-ordering it, guys. I will be waiting. I will see how the wife feels about it. We'll see where we go from there. But I'll be waiting for comprehensive reviews before I make the purchase myself. But this kind of warranty, to me, is a no-brainer, and it makes it pretty risk-free. I'm even considering buying it and seeing how good or bad it is. And if it's great, I'll keep it. If it's not, I'll send it back, and you guys will be along for the ride with me there. What are your thoughts on it? Would you purchase it? Will you use something like this? Let me know what you think in the comments. Again, share every detail of your experiences with SquareTrade. I'm Brian from Whisper Status 74. Thank you as always, guys, and I look forward to hearing you in the comments. Take care.